I'm really excited. Usually we have a guest. Usually we have someone joining. We'll have an amazing person joining us next week. But this week, it's a little different because we're diving into a mini workshop. But this is not your normal workshop. This is not like your grandma's workshop where we do like a presentation. No, this is an interactive workshop. There's you, there's me, there's all of our friends. We're all talking. We're all in the coffee shop together. Okay, so if you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have a tip, if you have a tactic that is going to help me, help somebody else, don't keep it to yourself. That's rude. Drop it in the chat so that we can all learn from you. So this is an interactive conversation. We are all going to be learning together. It is not just me learning from you. It is you learning from everyone. We're all learning from each other. So it's going to be great. Today's topic is career capital. I am so excited to dive into this with you because I think it's going to help you so much. I always love kind of knowing what the heck I'm getting into. That's just me. So here is our agenda. This is what we're going to get into. We're going to get into career capital, what the heck it is, why it matters. We're going to get into your narrative, how you tell the story about who you are and what you do. We're going to talk about networking. We are going to talk about fast tracking your knowledge. And most importantly, we're going to talk about opportunities to improve. As you can see on the don't forget section, don't forget to ask questions. This is interactive. This is not just me talking at you. I am not recording. This is live. So ask questions. And then secondly, hit the follow button on LinkedIn. Why? Because I always get messages every single week of people being like, I didn't see that, or you didn't send that. I did send it and I did do it. You can't see it because the algorithm's not showing it to you. I don't control the algorithm. If I did, would I be here? No, I'd be on a private island with Richard Branson shooting myself into space. So I don't know how the algorithm works. I can't figure it out either. So all I can tell you is if you follow me, maybe the algorithm will show you my stuff. But if you don't follow me, I can guarantee you it won't show you my stuff. So I always add in that friendly reminder that hit follow or else I can't really help. And then the to-dos, you can take notes or you can not take notes. I personally don't love taking notes, but if you love taking notes, take away. If you don't want to take notes, you can go to sendmenotes.com. I know. And the notes will magically be sent to you. They're not going to get sent to you today. They're going to get sent to you on Tuesday. So I'm sorry if you want them sent to you today. Listen, the magic elves don't work that fast. They're going to come to you on Tuesday. But if you don't want to take notes, you go to send me notes and the notes will magically head into your inbox. Don't worry. So, and Rachel says, you're especially animated today. I think it's all the sugar from my birthday yesterday. I think it's my new cup that is heat sensitive. I'm super excited. And I think it's also the subject area, which I just feel like is so powerful and is going to help so many people. So you are correct, Rachel. I am amped up today. This is also my third caffeinated mug. So now that I'm thinking about it, the caffeine could also play a part in it. That could also be one of the statistics. But, that's neither here nor there. So let's start off with an easy one. Number one, when was the last time that you Googled yourself? When's the last time you Googled yourself? Drop the answer in the chat box. And for some people, it might be like, I don't know, Kim, like Google myself. I've never even done that. Or why would I do that? Or what does that even matter? So when was the last time that you Googled yourself? And maybe that's right now. Maybe right now, as I'm talking, you're getting out your cell phone and you're putting your own name in. So when was last time? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. I'll tell you for me, I'll go first. The last time I Googled myself was about 3 days ago when I was making a presentation and I wanted to take an updated screenshot of where my LinkedIn profile results were coming. So I Googled myself. I Googled Kim Kaut to see what would come up. So when is the last time you Googled yourself? So the last time Alan Googled himself was 6 months ago. Jeff, 2 days ago when I reminded him, which is also when I did it. Grace, maybe a few months ago, possibly, maybe, can't quite remember. Anja, 2 seconds ago when I asked you to, that's pretty great. Christine, last week. Shelby also, when I posted 3 days ago, I know people don't Google themselves. It's like weird. You're like, I know who I am. I don't need to Google myself. But Google is sort of sneaky because the truth is you're not the only one Googling you. In fact, someone else has Googled you this month. Someone else that is not you has done exactly what you did, where they typed your name into Google. And people are like, what are you talking about, Kim? I'm not famous. I'm not an actress or a star or a sports person. Like, who would be Googling me? And I want you to channel for a second the two ways that this is happening. So it's happening two ways. It's happening in your personal life. So I don't know of anyone who has tiny humans who saw a babysitter and said, let me let this complete stranger who I don't know come up in my house and watch my tiny humans, and I'm going to leave. I don't even have tiny humans, and I know I'd be all over Google to see who the heck was coming up in my house to watch my tiny humans. So babysitters, boom, you're Googling them. There's a new neighbor. Who's that new neighbor that moved in across the street? Who is that person? Do I have a sex offender? Am I allowed to say that? I'm probably going to get blacklisted. But I mean, like, who's the new neighbor? Who's moving in? You're probably Googling people across the street. And if you have forgot something and want to remember it about a friend, my birthday was yesterday, and I know for a fact that a lot of my friends forgot. But I also know that they probably Googled it because they probably thought, I know her birthday's this week because she keeps obnoxiously talking about it, but what day is it? And they probably Googled me and they probably saw, oh, it's October 5th. Okay. So it could be something where a friend tells you something, or you think to yourself, I know that Rachel used to work in the music industry, but like, where did she work? They Googled you. They kind of remembered, but they didn't quite remember. So it could be even friends of yours that have forgotten certain aspects of your life, or like, oh yeah, I thought Jeff went to that school, but let me check. I don't know if that's actually his alma mater. So people are Googling you that actually know you that just might have forgotten little things about you. So in your personal life, people are Googling you, or you are getting Googled, or you are using Google. So it's definitely 100% happening in your personal life. And it is also happening in your professional life. In your professional life, before you go on a meeting with someone is Googling you. Who's in this Zoom meeting? Who am I having coffee with? Who's on this conference call? Who are the other people in this meeting? You are Googling people that you are meeting with. Next up, if there is a new hire, maybe there's somebody new who started the company that you're like, that guy Todd that I saw the email about, what's his deal? Let me look him up. Or maybe it's somebody you're thinking about hiring that you're like, I saw this application come in, or I saw this resume come in. Let me Google this person. So it could be somebody that you're looking at hiring. Or again, that sort of interviewer-interviewee relationship, it goes both ways. If you are interviewing someone, you're probably looking them up. If that person is interviewing you, they are probably looking you up. The point and the moral of the story is that we are all Googling each other all of the time. We're doing it in our personal life. We're doing it in our professional life. It's happening constantly, whether you like it or not. And that is what I call career capital. So we are in the digital era of decision making. We are picking babysitters. We are picking new hires. We are picking our thoughts and opinions about people based off what we find on the internet about them. We're in the digital era of decision making. And I put in really tiny letters, but it's super true. And we're not going back. So some people say, well, Kim, back in the good old days, you used to meet somebody at a party and that's how you made your judgment about them. I agree. I get it. But cat's out of the bag. Genie's out of the bottle. We're in this new era of digital decision making, and we're not going back. So I would say if you're one of those people that say this doesn't matter, or this career capital doesn't apply to me, or digital decision making doesn't apply to me, congrats. You were likely the person that also worked at Blockbuster. Okay? And Netflix is never coming for you. You were probably the person that worked at the music labels who said, CDs will last forever. That Napster thing, that streaming service, that's not coming for us. So you can go with like the Blockbusters and the physical CD people of the world and the fax machine salespeople who said, we don't have to worry about email. These fax machines are awesome. Y'all can go and make a little club, and that's where you can live. You can live on the fax machine, Blockbuster, CD Club Island. But everybody else, we're coming over here, which is we're streaming our music, we're streaming our Netflix, and we're sending emails. So we are in the digital era of decision making. Our career capital matters now more than ever when it comes to our jobs and our work, and we are not going back ever. So I would just say it's the truth. And so I always say, like, people are knowing you. People are saying no before they know you based on these results, based off what we're finding online. So again, going back to the babysitter example, if you Google your babysitter and you're like, I'm not liking what I'm finding, that's going to be a no. That's going to be a no. You're not coming into my house and watching My Tiny Humans. Okay. Same thing with hiring somebody. You might Google them and be like, I'm not going to bring them in for an interview. Okay. You didn't even get a chance to know that person. Maybe that person is the best person you've ever met. Maybe that person's like a mini Mother Teresa, but you'll never know because you already know them. So that's happening to you. Just like you're doing that to other people are doing that to you. We're all doing it. And again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments later being like, Kim, that's mean. Lots of things are mean. I don't make the rules. I just tell you about them. So I know I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it is what it is. That's where we are in life. So again, I would say now is the time more than ever to invest in your career capital. What does that mean? I keep saying career capital. Okay, Kim, what does that funny word mean? Investing in your career capital means investing in three main areas. Your narrative, how you tell the story about who you are and what you do. Your narrative, that's going to be hugely important. Your network, who do you know? Who are you associated? Mentors, advisors, people that you can call. Who in your network can help you level up in a way that you couldn't do on your own? And then last but not least, knowledge. How are you leveraging your knowledge? How are you improving your knowledge to constantly stay on top? So career capital are these three areas, and we are going to dive into each one individually. Again, I'm about to throw a lot of stuff at you. So if you don't have a pen and paper, go to sendmenotes.com, send you all the notes. Don't worry. And I would also say, if you're just joining us, you can say hi in the chat. You can also ask questions in the chat. If there's a part where you're like, hold on, wait a second, put it in the chat. This is an interactive conversation. We're all at the coffee shop together. We're all sitting at the table together. So we're all doing this together. So the first thing we're going to go through is narrative. Who you are, what you do, and how you talk about you. So number one, we talked about Google results. So I gave a little reference to my Google results earlier. So I just wanted to show you when I said I Googled myself, 3 days ago, it was because I was doing this presentation. So spoiler alert there for you. I was doing this presentation and that's why I Googled myself. So I Googled my own name, and you will see that number 3 on my Google results, where that big gold 3 is my LinkedIn profile. So even though I've won all sorts of awards, I've had accomplishments in my life, none of it matters. None of it shows up. What's showing up is my LinkedIn profile as number 3. Why? Why is that showing up? Because LinkedIn is one of the only networks that is crawled by Google. Facebook, you could be putting out brilliant, bellissimo content on Facebook. Ain't nobody going to see it. And after 3 months, it's buried, so no one's going to see it. You could be putting out amazing threads on Twitter, spouting out your amazing knowledge. ain't nobody going to see it because after 3 months, it's disappeared. No one's scrolling that far. So I am a lazy marketer. I like killing 2 birds, 1 stone. I like doing more with less. So like a MacGyver, if anybody remembers that TV show. So for me, doing things on LinkedIn is the 1-2 punch, because not only is it on LinkedIn, it's also showing up on Google. So I like the 1-2 punch. I like doing more with less. And so I want that for you. I don't want you to work twice as hard. I want you to work 1 time and have it go further. And you might say, okay, Kim, well, that's true for you. That's not true for me. That doesn't apply to me. And I would say, I'm about to prove you wrong respectfully by showing you 2 people that are way more accomplished than you and me and everybody on here combined. And that would be 2 billionaires, not 1 billionaire, but 2 billionaires, and 1 lady and 1 guy. And one of them has gone to space and we haven't. So those 2 people would be Sara Blakely, billionaire founder of Spanx, and Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Galactic, Virgin Airlines, all of that stuff. If you Google these humans right now, you can do it right now if you don't believe me, because this is what you will see. The number 4 thing on Richard Branson's Google results is LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn. It's not even that he went to space. He went to space and LinkedIn is still coming up as number 4. So I don't know how much more accomplished you have to get. But if going to space is not beating LinkedIn, I would say LinkedIn's kind of important. So same thing with Sara, first self-made billionaire woman. It is number 5 on Sara Blakely's Google search results. Again, if you don't believe me, pull out your phone, Google this yourself. It's a fun little game. I enjoy playing it. You can do this with most people. You can do this with Bill Gates. You can do LinkedIn is showing up as top 5 or at least page 1 because it's crawled by Google. And I don't think many people realize that about their career capital. So what does that mean for you? That means I need you to do 2 things immediately. Do not pass go. Do these right now, which is number 1, optimize your LinkedIn profile. So if you haven't already, you can go to helpmylinkedin.com, optimize it, clean it up. And number 2, turn on creator mode. This is a new feature from LinkedIn that just got released to the public 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, not 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago. This is a very, 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 very new feature. Before this, it was in beta. No one was allowed to access it. Well, I mean, some people were allowed to access it, but not everybody was allowed to access it. So it is now 100% open to the public. So please, if you have not turned it on already, turn it on. It is a new feature. If you're like, I don't know how to turn it on, or I need help turning it on, I made a 15-minute video walking you through how to turn it on. You can go to turnoncreatormode.com. I will help you turn it on. I literally take you through it step by step. I literally say, click here, click this. Anyone could do, an 80-year-old could do this. That's how much I walk you through it step by step. And shout out to any 80-year-olds who are joining us, because fire. Okay, so you can do this. Turn these things on immediately. Immediately, do not pass go. Immediately do this, because LinkedIn is dumping so much algorithm, super sauce, supercharge into this platform. So turn on creator mode right now. Please do it. Elena watched the video yesterday. Yes. Thank you for watching it. I swear, you know what I'm thinking about doing? Actually, if you're listening to this, before you turn it on, take a screenshot of your analytics and then turn it on. And 30 days later, take a screenshot and send it to me, because I guarantee you, at least it's true for all of my private clients that I've been working with, it's noticeable. Okay. It's not 2 more people. It's a noticeable difference. So if you haven't already, take those before and afters. It'll be super, super fun. So again, that narrative, controlling that narrative is going to be so important. And the best way to do that is LinkedIn. Yes, there's other ways to do it. Yes, you can make Facebook groups. Yes, you can get on Instagram. Yes, you can make TikToks and Instagram Reels. I'm not saying that those don't work. I'm saying I am lazy. I'm saying I don't want to do all that work. I do it. I don't like it. I don't even want to do it every day. So I want to look for the laziest way to control my narrative. And the laziest way to do that is to optimize your LinkedIn, because you get the LinkedIn and you get the Google, you get the 1-2 punch. So again, I'm not saying that those other ways don't work. I'm saying I am tired. I don't want to keep dancing around to TikToks all day. Okay. That's just me. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I just like doing more with less. Okay, so we've got our narrative in check. The next thing is our network. Our network. These are going to be mentors, advisors, people that we can call, people that we can ask for help, people that are joining here every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. These are our crew that we can say, does anyone know of anybody who can help me with that? Does anybody know a good resource for that? Does anybody know a coach for this? Does anybody know a service provider for that? Who are people, who is your phone a friend in your career, in your work, in your life that can help you instantly? Sort of like a human Google. Who are those people? And are you collecting those people like Easter eggs? Like, are you saying, I'll take one of you, and I'll take one of you, and I'll take one of you? I would say this group every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're just collecting interesting people, boop, 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 straight into our little basket. So this is a great resource for this. I would also say another great resource for this is everyone laughs, but it works. So I'm going to keep saying it. Another great way to do this is what I call my save and spray strategy. Save and spray. I know it sounds ridiculous. Everyone laughs, but this really does work, which is you probably don't even realize it. But during the week, during the days, you listen to podcasts, you read newsletters, you watch TV shows, you consume things that you think to yourself, that was interesting. That was helpful. I really liked that. And then normally what 99% of people do is they move on to their next squirrel thought, like squirrel. They move on. They're done. I would say before the next squirrel hits you, instead say, okay, that was an interesting podcast, or, oh, I really liked the guest writer on that newsletter. Oh, that was really interesting. Who is that person? Save that name. Put it in your Evernote app. Put it on the notes on your phone. Put it in a Word document. I've even emailed it to myself. I know, it sounds crazy. I've emailed myself emails to me, from me, about notes that I want to remember. So whoever that is, whatever little trick or person that you did, write that down. Find out who that person is and say to yourself, okay, I'm going to network with that person. And someone might say, oh my God, Kim, what if it's a famous quote? What if it's somebody from, a celebrity? Okay, that's fair. That could be somebody that's really good. But more often than not, the tips and tricks and strategies that you're hearing that you think are really cool, they're said by regular industry experts. They're leaders who are sharing their knowledge. And I can guarantee you they are not hearing from 99% of people that consume their thoughts and their wisdom and their content. They're not. Because I know from guests that we've brought on to this show, whether it's Matt Higgins, who is a guest shark on Shark Tank, that their inboxes, people think, oh, you must get millions of that. That's not true, because people don't actually reach out. They might think about it. They might have an interesting question or a thought or a thank you or whatever, but don't actually do it. So again, this save and spray strategy is so important, because if you save those names, what I say is save those names throughout the week and then pick a day. I usually pick like Friday around 4:00, and I spray out invites, and I spray out connection requests, and I spray out compliments, throw kindness and compliments out like confetti. I throw confetti out every Friday at 4 p.m. to all these different people. What does that look like? That might mean DMing them on Twitter. That might mean reaching out to them on LinkedIn. That might be writing them a nice DM on Instagram. Whatever that is, it's telling another human, hey, I saw that podcast you did. I saw that interesting newsletter you did. I saw this, I saw that, and I wanted to say thank you, or I wanted to ask a question, or I wanted to make another point, whatever it is. So I actually want to show you, this is something, I heard something on a podcast. I jumped on LinkedIn and I said, hi, I loved your podcast episode. Like, this was super helpful. Thank you. And not only did he connect with me, he wrote back, thank you. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. It's like, that is the power of this save and spray mentality of, I am networking kind of without even trying. And not only that, I'm networking with people that I already know have gotten featured on podcasts, have been quoted in Wall Street Journal articles, have been quoted by other industry experts that I really like. So I'm not just networking with like somebody that I have no idea if they're qualified or not. I'm networking with people that I've now heard about. So it's kind of taking people who are up on pedestals and on a Friday at 4 o'clock, dropping them right down here to like homie status. Like, now we're chatting. Now we're friends. So again, here's another thing. I read an interesting article that this woman was quoted in, and I simply said, hi, Stephanie, was super impressed with this article you were quoted in. Like, I wanted to connect with you. I want to keep learning from you. What does Stephanie say? She's like, awesome. Thanks for reaching out. Happy to connect. And so people think sometimes the boring stuff is what works. Have you ever wondered, in the hundreds of years that we've been physically fit as humans, why we're still doing push-ups? Why we don't have 85 machines and mirrors and virtual reality, that the push-up is still like a common form of exercise? Because it works. It's like cheese pizza, baby. Sometimes it's going back to basics, okay? Sometimes it's going back to like, this is good and this works and it's a basic. So reading about people or seeing them or hearing them and then reaching out and saying, hey, I saw or read or listened to that interesting thing you said and I really liked it. I know it sounds so simple that some people are like, the simple stuff doesn't work, but why do you think the trainer is still having you do push-ups? Why do you think cheese pizza is still out there? We're not putting pineapples and ham all over our pizza. I still think that's a bizarre pizza to eat, but people really live and die on that hill. So sometimes it's about going back to basics. And so thank you, David. I'm trying to dump all the networking nuggets of wisdom out here. And I would say, if you have any nuggets of networking wisdom, again, don't keep them to yourself. Share them with us. This is an open conversation. So David, I would challenge you to share with all of us a networking tip that you feel like you use or that you feel like helps a lot. And I would say that would also be super helpful. Jen, we do not need to do the burpees. I actually hate the burpees, as you know. I also hate the push-up. But there is something about basics and probably the basics of why we continue to hate them, because they're really hard and they work. It's always the basic things sometimes that work really well and that you don't want to do. It's like eating broccoli. It's like, I know this is good for me. I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to do it. So again, I try to make it a fun thing with the save and spray that confetti down, spread kindness as confetti, kind of like funny catchphrase, because sometimes it's the simple meat and potatoes stuff that is also the hardest to make a regular habit or to do, but is actually the most effective. So I love this tip from Anja. Her networking nugget of wisdom is to ask for an informational interview from warm intros. I would also add on this point and say, if you can make somebody get a yes in 15 minutes or less, that's the key. So if somebody asks you for an hour of time or somebody asks you for 30 minutes of time, you might say to yourself, oh my God, I got to drop off the kids and I got to make dinner and I got to get this proposal out the door. And I don't have 30 minutes, but 15 minutes, sort of like the golden time frame. It's like, yeah, I got 15 minutes. I can talk to you in the car for 15 minutes. I can talk to you while I'm trying to walk out the door for 15 minutes. So I would say, if you can get a warm intro that you can ask somebody a couple of questions and you say like, no worries, Jenny, I only want to take 15 minutes of your time. That is guaranteed to get you a very, very fast yes. I also love this tip from Rachel. As someone who enjoys stationery and paper products, I would say I especially enjoy sending this via snail mail, which is sending notes, congratulating others on their success, because it helps keep you on their radar too. Again, I would just like add my own little Kim confetti on this, which is I actually send things physical in the mail. snail mail, maybe because I still love papyrus and paper source, but there is something about physically mailing something to someone that really makes you stand out. But yes, I think text messages and emails are great ways. Rachel makes such a good point to stay top of mind when it comes to networking. That is huge, huge. So again, if you have any other networking tips or tricks that you think work really well, drop it in the chat so we can all learn from you too, because that would be super helpful. Remember, sharing is caring. Don't keep it to yourself. Okay, so we've gone over narrative. We've gone over network. Now the last step is knowledge. So how are we thinking about gaining knowledge in this space? How are we thinking about always leveling up, always staying ahead of the curve, and always staying on top of things? So when I was thinking about what to have our conversation topic be for this, I really, really, really wanted to touch on this amazing, amazing creator. I also am connected with her on LinkedIn because I sent her a very flowery message about how much I love her stuff. You might have seen her work on LinkedIn, or you might have seen it on Instagram if you are ever on that platform. But the content creator Liz and Molly, or the handle Liz and Molly, makes these really great infographics that I think perfectly sum up what we can talk about when it comes to knowledge and gaining knowledge. So knowledge is one of the most underutilized resources because it is usually one that just talks about ourselves. It doesn't talk about anyone else. So in this first little infographic on the very side of the screen where you see them watering each other, it says, to be able to care for others, you have to care for yourself. I think this is one of the most underutilized parts of knowledge. Is when we think about knowledge, we think, well, we're always thinking of a place of other people, which is wonderful. I love that for us. We're so humble, we're so nice, we're so caring. But eventually, our own cup runneth dry. And if we don't invest in ourselves, if we don't invest in our own knowledge, how will we then give knowledge out or provide help or provide energy or provide resources or provide any sort of context around how we can assist other people if our cup is empty? We can't. It's impossible. So I think that this infographic is such a good reminder. And thank you, Anja, for throwing up this Liz and Molly, because I think it's so, and I know Jen is also a big fan of Liz and Molly. I think they are fantastic as well. So I encourage you guys, if you haven't seen Liz and Molly's stuff, it's really, really great. The next thing is really honing in on the fact that things take time. Actually, the second and third images here, when it says seemingly small steps can lead to a big change, or when you're growing a flower and you're planting a seed and you just think like, it's just not happening yet. It's just not happening yet. And then all of a sudden it happens. And so again, your career capital is the same way. You can feel like, oh my God, Kim, like I turned on this creator mode and I've done a couple posts and it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. But again, you don't even realize how close you are to the final step. You don't even realize how many steps you've made it up. You don't even realize how far you've come. And so when we think about that knowledge base, it's really saying, how do we continue to invest in ourselves? And how do we continue to do that on a regular basis? Because I have some like good news and then I have some bad news. And the good news is that you're always building your career capital. And the bad news is that you're always building your career capital. So it's both good news and bad news, right? So it's sort of, I hate to say it, but it's sort of like that hamster wheel. So you have to keep investing in yourself because you have to keep getting better. Because if you're not getting better, then you're going to be on the island with Blockbuster and the fax machine. And, some of those other folks that thought, well, this doesn't apply to me and I don't really have to worry about this. You don't want to be on fax machine and Blockbuster Island. It's not a fun place. There's just not a lot going on there. So the good news is you kind of always want to stay ahead of the curve. You're always wanting to invest in your career capital. You're always wanting to make your narrative and your knowledge base and your network improve and get better. But you always have to improve and get better. That there is no there. I talk to a lot of people who say, well, Kim, when am I going to get there? And I'm like, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but there is no there. there is no final point, because we constantly want to be getting better. We constantly want to be improving. There is no final step. We're innovators. We have to constantly be innovating. So instead, what I say is, okay, if there is no final destination, to Giacomo's point, we're going inch by inch. We're taking those baby steps to improve every single day. If there is no there, if we're always officially going to be moving forward in small steps and in small ways, how can we do that the easiest way that we can? So again, going back to that kind of lazy learning, how can we do that in a way that feels effortless, that doesn't feel like we're carrying 100 pounds on our back, climbing uphill, that makes it feel like, okay, I'm taking baby steps. I'm feeling good. It's feeling easy. It's feeling like it's flowing. I'm getting in the groove. I'm getting in the zone. So I would say deep dive on how can you get in that zone. So there's two things that I always like to talk about here, which is number one, who can you follow? Who can you follow that will show up in your feed effortlessly, easy, that you can continue to learn from or can help give you a different perspective? So I think this is one of the easiest and laziest ways to do this. So I'll give you my own personal example. So something that I'm always really curious about is the future of work. I'm always curious, like, especially with whether we want to call it the great resignation or the great reshuffle, but like, how are we getting back to work? What are the stats and facts around working and hybrids and work from home? And what does that look like? But for me to look up all the stats, to look up all the facts, to interpret all of it, again, that would be like getting a really heavy backpack and climbing uphill. We don't want that. I want to learn effortlessly, easily. So for me, I look at who can I follow. In this case, I always think about my friend Dan Chabelle, who came on Coffee with Kim with us a couple months ago. I follow Dan on multiple platforms because he just comes into my feed and magically serves me this learning. He magically serves me all the stats and facts that I would ever need to know, or the interesting articles, and he does all the research for me. I just copy his homework. He serves it to me on a silver platter. So I would say, who can you follow? Maybe it's someone in your industry. Maybe it's an industry titan or advisor or power player that you're like, I would learn a lot from them, and I just easily want it to come into my feed. I don't want to have to go out and find all that information. I just want it to be put in my feed so that I can easily copy the homework, and it doesn't have to be something that I have to go out there and find. So again, who is somebody that you can follow that you can just magically learn from all of their stuff? And then the next thing that, again, easy, effortless, it's what we're doing right here, right now. Where can you, again, two birds with one stone? Can we do more with less? Can we network and can we learn at the same time? Again, because if you're going to be hanging out for 45 minutes, it's great if you watch a 45-minute YouTube video that helps you. That's awesome. And it's great if you spend 45 minutes networking. That's awesome. But again, I want easy, I want effortless, I want something that doesn't feel like, oh my God, it's taken us forever to get there. I want to learn and I want to network all at the same time. And that's what this is. Every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. we are learning and we're networking all at the same time. So perfect example, David's dropping knowledge in here. You might say, wow, I love that networking tip from David. That's so true about people being like really mid-careers. They can get it, more so than maybe somebody else at a different stage in their career. I love that point from him. You know what? I'm going to connect with David on LinkedIn. I'm going to send him a connection request, or I'm going to follow him because I kind of like these points that he's bringing up. So you just killed two birds with one stone. You got a tip from David and maybe you connected with him on the platform. So again, when I'm thinking about how can we really think about your knowledge base and do it in a way that's easy, in a way that's effortless, in a way that doesn't feel like you have a sack of potatoes and you're like carrying them up the stairs and it's taking you a really long time, really thinking about who you can follow and how you can network and learn at the exact same time. Again, as you can see, I'm all about doing more with less. And then the last thing I will say when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to networking and learning, I get on my soapbox about this all the time, but it's a great soapbox and I will continue to get on it, which is get a mentor. I know I sound like a broken record. Get a mentor. In fact, you should have 4 mentors, but I won't even get crazy. I'll just say get 1 mentor. So get 1 mentor. In fact, we did a whole mini workshop just about mentorship. You can go to kimkalp.com/mentorship and you can see all the notes from that meeting. You can rewatch it, but I would say get a mentor. Holy moly. It is going to up level your career in the biggest way. And again, would I love for you to get more than 1 mentor? Yes, I would. Am I going to get greedy? No, I am not. So if you just get 1, I know you're busy. I know you have things to do. I know there's things that you want to accomplish. Get a mentor. I promise you, it's like a Disney Fast Pass. It's like a video game cheat sheet. It is the single biggest thing that is going to fast track your career. Get a mentor. It is going to be huge. And Jeff makes a really great point here when it comes to LinkedIn connections. Thank you so much for making this, Jeff. That when you send a LinkedIn connection request to another human, make sure you include a note about why you want to connect with them. And again, in those examples that I showed you earlier, maybe even compliment them. So in that case that I just used with David, or maybe in this case with Jeff, hey, Jeff, I liked that point you made in the Coffee with Kim section. Looking forward to continuing to learn from you. Or, hey, David, love that networking tip you made. Would love to connect and keep learning from you. So add a little note about who you are and why you're showing up in their connection request inbox. That's such a great point, Jeff, because I always say that you should behave online in some way like you would show up in person, which clearly a lot of people don't do because there's some crazy people on the internet and there's some really mean troll people on the internet. So, but in the perfect world, you would show up online the same way you show up in person, which is you would not show up in person, grab someone's phone and start typing in your number. Excuse you, I don't even know you, and you're typing your phone number in my phone? Who are you? I don't even know who you are. So you wouldn't just automatically connect with someone, but who are you? What are you doing here? But if someone says, hey, I really like these tips you're doing, I have tips, then you're like, oh, okay. Like, I get it. Like, come on into my connection circle. So that's such a great point, Jeff. Thank you for clarifying and making that, because I think it's really important to send that personalized note about why you're connecting with someone and really saying like, hey, this is what I thought was valuable from you and why I want to connect with you in the first place. So again, I would say when it comes to your career capital, if you're like, Kim, this has been really great, but like I'm tired, or it's my first time here and you're talking about a lot of stuff and it seems like a lot of work. I get it. It can be a lot. So I would say to use like the JV versus varsity example, or like the 101 versus like the more advanced classes, like 101, optimize your profile. If you do nothing else, just optimize it. I will be sad that you don't do more, but that's okay. Just optimize the thing. Go to helpmylinkedin.com and optimize it. That's like kind of basic. That's your 101. That's your level 1. If you're like, Kim, I get it. Career capital. This is important. I want to do it. I would say, come on in, the water's fine. You can go to careercapitalcourse.com. That is a 5-week program that we are going to be running. It closes in 48 hours. In 48 hours, it goes bye-bye. I do not know when it's coming back. Hopefully it will come up at the top of 2022. We haven't set dates yet. If you send me emails being like, I can't, maybe, I don't know what to tell you. This is going to be the last chance. It closes in 2 days. If this is something that you think, I kind of want to invest in myself, I want to show up to 2022, kicking butt and taking names, I would say it's going to be a place where you want to be. So you can go to careercapitalcourse.com and you can look into that program. Again, I will put it here only because we've been talking about it. If you do not follow me on LinkedIn I don't control the algorithm. I can't control why you don't see certain stuff. You can send me emails and then I will email you with the link because you didn't see it, because you couldn't get to it. If you don't follow me, I can't help. I know. I wish I controlled the algorithm. It'd be so much easier. Things would be better, but I'm sorry. I can't. So I feel like it's just, and by the way, Jeff, it's going to be so much fun. Jeff is going to be in the Career Capital program with me. It is going to be freaking amazing. So if you want to hang out with Jeff and I, it's going to be a good place to be. I'm really excited about it. And I would also say, really, when it comes to that Career Capital, when it comes to networking and learning, I will do a shameless plug to join us here every single week at 1 p.m. Eastern. We have some amazing things coming up. Next week, we are going to learn about leveling up our career with Amberly Lago. After that, we're going to talk about the advertising industry and advocating for yourself in the workplace, which with Richard Fowler. We are going to be doing a public speaking workshop because I've been getting a lot of people sending emails that at the end of the year in Q4 is when they have their reviews with HR, is when they have their reviews with their boss, is when they have to give a big presentation on what they've been working on all year. So I get it. There's going to be a lot of things where you're doing some public speaking, some public advocating for yourself and your work. We're going to do a workshop all about that so that you feel confident going into those like Q4 meetings. But I would say really this is going to be a great place for you to come hang out every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. And I would say, as you can see here, like it's a conversation. Like we are having conversations with each other, as you can see by all of these amazing tips that are flooding in from you guys in real time. So I would say, again, here's Antonia giving us some more amazing people to follow, some more mentors that we can follow on the internet to help us teach us new and interesting things. So I'd say, again, this is a great place to come and lazy learn with the best of them. I feel like it's just such an amazing place every single week to kind of steal all the secrets and use them for yourself. So I'm really excited. I would say if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any concerns, reach out. I'm here. You can send me a message on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, on your platform of choice, because I'm here all day, every day. So I just wanted to say thank you for joining this mini workshop on Career Capital. I look forward to seeing all of you very soon. And I just wanted to say a special thank you to Jen and David and Jeff and Anja. And just you guys shared so many amazing tips and tricks and resources that have worked well for you. So thank you for sharing your wisdom and your expertise with me and all of us. That is so valuable. And one of the reasons that this place is so magical every single week is because of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sending you a big cheers from Austin, Texas. I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. And I hope you work this weekend, even if it's the smallest baby step, on improving your career capital. Have a good one.